Ready? Play.
Welcome back to the channel, tennis fans. We are here to preview the upcoming quarterfinal in Indian Wells between Aryna Sabalenka and Victoria Mboko. An eagerly anticipated semi-final, and I would say that's possibly been added to after their straight sets wins today. We'll reflect on those shortly. We'll also look at the head-to-head, as you can see on the screen right now. It's 1-0 in favour of Aryna Sabalenka. We'll also look at the pedigree of the two players, the form that they're in, and where this match could be won and lost. Let's start with that head-to-head. 1-0, as I highlighted before. 22 career titles for Aryna Sabalenka, just the 2 for Mboko, but Mboko very much at the beginning of her career compared to Sabalenka, who is arguably at the peak of her powers as she seeks her first title win at Indian Wells. Sabalenka very much at the peak of her powers, and age 27. These are the best years, I would argue, of your tennis career, in your late 20s when you're really hitting your peak. Mboko has got that all to come, and yet Mboko's CV already includes a WTA 1000 title earned last year in Canada. She also has just broken into the top 10 in recent months. So a lot to look forward to for Victoria. Sabalenka, though, probably has even loftier ambitions for 2026. I'm sure she'd like to add to her slam tally, and I'm sure she'd be keen to add an Indian Wells title to her CV. Not yet there. Their only match, by the way, did come on the hard courts, and it came very recently in Australia. Sabalenka there really made hard work of that second set. There were moments in the second set when it looked like it was going to be a comfortable 2-set win for Aryna, but Mboko fought hard, just as she had done in the previous round to Clara Towson, forced that second set tiebreak. But Sabalenka in tiebreaks, we know what a beast she is in those circumstances, and she proved it once again against Mboko. And so 6-1, 7-6 was that only match that they've had, and therefore an only win for Sabalenka. Sabalenka, by the way, in terms of her form coming into this, well, she got to the Australian Open final, as we know. This is her first tournament since then, and she hasn't dropped a set en route to the quarterfinals, dispensing of Sakatsumi, Christian, and Osaka today. And that performance against Osaka today, probably the best one that she's put in since the Australian Open. She was just too strong for Naomi, serving so well, returning as well as she can as well. And I put her maybe second or third best server in the world, and maybe best returner in the world. I'd love to hear your comments in the section below. As for Mboko, by the way, she has also not dropped a set en route to the quarterfinals, so something's definitely going to be giving there. And she was especially impressive in her straight sets win over Anisimova today. She served beautifully, and Anisimova couldn't get in on the Mboko serve. And Mboko was also returning well and was hitting so well with fine margins. And I think there's no glaring weakness in Mboko's game, which for someone so young is mightily impressive. Mboko seeded 10, Sabalenka 1. In terms of their pedigree, of course, in the desert, Mboko, this is the first time she has appeared at this stage. As for Sabalenka, well, her pedigree is very much there for all to see. 2 finals, 2023, a tight loss in straight sets to Elena Rybakina. But that one last year, I think even more painful for Aryna, having led by a set over Mira Andreeva, her less experienced opponent. I think Sabalenka thought that was the title for her to take. And that's been the case for so many of the titles that Aryna has just missed out on in the last 14 months. Think back to that Australian Open. She's serving at 5-6, could easily just hold serve there and get to a tiebreak against Madison Keys and win the title. Think to the French Open final when she's got the upper hand against Coco Gauff before the wind ultimately derailed her in the third set. Think about the semi-final at Wimbledon, lost to Anisimova, fine margins, ultimately winning the US Open, and then again she's up a break in the third set against Rybakina in this year's Australian Open. So many titles just slipped through her fingers, and the Indian Wells one of a year ago, also the case. And I think she'll be desperate to right that wrong at this year's Indian Wells. Will she do so against Victoria Mboko and get to another semi-finals in the desert? Yeah, I think she does. But let's go for 3 very close sets, and maybe she'll have to bring that tiebreak prowess once again to the fore. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
And I'm a friend of the show.
I am Francisca George and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans and I'm a friend of the show.
My name is Zainab Samas and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Hello. Hello. There we are. A little bit of tech difficulties there, but how we doing? Tom Grant here. My screen is a bit manky. There we go. How we doing, folks? Tom Grant here, coming to you from Scotland, and I'm going to be taking you through the next couple of hours, or however long it'll take, for Aryna Sabalenka to take on Victoria Mboko. Going to be a tasty one, this one. These guys, of course, faced in the 4th round of the Australian Open earlier this year. The scoreboard is updated slightly faster than my stream, so I'll try and talk you through the points. But as you can see, Sabalenka has notched the first point of this one. So yeah, number 1 seed against number 10 seed here at Indian Wells. My first stream of the week, first stream in a while really. And yeah, just as usual, let me know where you're coming from. Hello, Matthew. We've not spoken in a while, but we have spoken before. Stephen, I don't think we've chatted before. And if you're from somewhere where it's snowing, then let us know where you are. I'm going to guess Canada or somewhere, the States, the US, or Antarctica. I don't know. And then, hi, Kadeem. How are we doing? So, yeah, Sabalenka, Mboko, and Mboko. What a rise she's had over the last 12 months. Sabalenka, an interesting stat I just found out there in the preview on Sky. Hi, Dan from Oxfordshire in England, a wee bit warmer than us up north. Yeah, interesting stat, Sabalenka. And this is amazing to me. She's actually only lost 2 sets all year so far. Now, you guys might have talked about this on a stream already. I think I'm joined by Rachel. Hi, Rachel.
Hello, how are you?
Not bad, not bad. We haven't met before, but John did give us a shout that you were coming on the stream with me. How long have I got you for? You got you for the whole match?
About an hour, I think.
An hour.
So I mean, it depends how this goes.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we'll get chatting. I was just saying that Sabalenka has only lost 2 sets in the whole year. In every match she's played, I think she's 52-2. And that was, of course, in the Australian Open final. And that was mind-blowing to me in terms of the consistency of Sabalenka. Where do you think this was going then? Rachel, where do you think this one might go?
Mboko, she's on a fantastic run. I mean, she's, in terms of, the span of the year and last year, of course, she's kind of come out of nowhere, going into the tournament in the 10th seed, obviously kind of thrashing Anisimova in the previous match. I do, however, think Sabalenka's got this in 2. I'm going to say a 7-5, 6-4 win, though.
Nice. I like somebody who, nails their colours to the mast, and specifically on the scoreline. So I like that. I mean, Sabalenka is a game, well, you can see by the scoreboard, she's just taken the first game. That's where my stream's at. So I don't know if you're maybe a bit ahead of me, Rachel, or not. But yeah, you talk about Mboko coming into this event as the number 10 seed. And, I think this time last year she was playing, a 75 challenger. And I think she's actually one of the first, I think it was what I was reading before, is Swiatek and Barbara Krejcikova in 2021. Now, of course, that was after COVID, and they'd probably won some events coming into that event. But she's one of the first since then to come into the event as a top 10 player, making her debut at Indian Wells. And it just shows you, like you say, the rise. Of course, that 1,000 in Montreal. She got to another 1,000 final in Doha more recently, last month. Do you see Mboko? I don't want to. I hate doing this. All right, Rachel. I don't like to, try and put pressure on a player. She's not going to be watching our list, but she might do. But I just wondered if you see Mboko being a future number 1 on the WTA.
Absolutely. I mean, I kind of see a bit of Coco Gauff in her. I mean, she's climbed outside the top 300 into the top 20 in one season. So to think that what she could do now as a top player, I can absolutely see her being number 1. Obviously, you've got your Sabalenka, you've got your Swiatek, you've got your Coco Gauff, you've got your Rybakina. But, she's definitely a tough contender. But yeah, to answer your question, I can definitely see her as number 1.
Okay, I'm just checking my mic settings. Can you hear me okay? Or is it quite
I can
quite low?
I can hear you fine, Tom. It's just, if you just go to the arrow at the bottom, like right now, I'm talking to you through my laptop rather than my mic. And if you just click at can you see the arrow next to the mic's thing?
Yes.
If you then click on that, you'll get 2 or 3 options. Just make sure that there's a tick next to your microphone. Do you see what I mean?
Yes, I do. So that should be me now. Is that better?
I think it is a bit better. We'll see how it goes, and if not, we'll go back to your laptop.
No, I think that'll be me. That should be me. Did you see the guys are talking? Dan's talking. Matthew's talking about. It's the talk of the town, really. The Draper Djokovic match last night, or was it too early for you? Too through the night for you, Rachel? I assume you're down south in England.
It was about 1 o'clock in the morning. I didn't catch it, and I haven't actually seen the highlights either. So, but I did wake up and see the scoreline. I haven't, no.
Yeah, you haven't seen this, miraculous point at the start of the third set yet? No.
No, I literally haven't seen anything.
What a point it was. I mean, I watched the highlights back today, this afternoon. I mean, it's one of those matches that Djokovic, first set, and 4-3 up, and he had chances on the Draper serve. I think in fact 3-4 to break, didn't, and then Jack Draper broke in the very next game, and it was just a total momentum shift. But there's a point at the start of the third set. I think it was probably about 40-50 shots, but it was the variety of the shots. We had lobs, we had Djokovic like retrieving the ball from deep in the court with his back to Draper, drop shot go lower. I mean, I've got to say, I've never really been a Djokovic fan, but I did watch those highlights, and the way that the guy was hitting it, I think he's looking good in terms of like this time last year. You probably didn't know if he had the range of shots and the fitness, at 37 then, but 38 now he looks fitter than ever. And I think it was a battle. It was a real. I've got to say, and the guys were talking about it in the WhatsApp this morning. It's clearly got to be an early contender for match of the year. But well done, Jack Draper, getting through. Nobody really knew where he was in terms of he's come back from injury. And I think he's kind of proven a few doubters wrong here in terms of, this wasn't it was probably an older Djokovic, but this wasn't an off-form Djokovic that we've seen at Indian Wells over the last few years. This was a guy who was hitting the ball well. That famous change of direction, when it comes cross-court and he goes down the line with the backhand and the forehand. That was on fire, but Jack Draper just stuck with him, knew that the 2.5 hour time and the ferocity of the rallies might catch up to Djokovic at some point. And it did. I think Djokovic was 5-4 up with a mini break. There's a backhand that he had that he'll probably want to see again. I think it either pushed it long or it clipped the net and went long. And then from there, Jack Draper just saw it out. So well played, Jack. And can he defend the title, Rachel?
It would be interesting. Obviously, you've got Alcaraz. Is it Alcaraz Nori?
Yes, that'll be at 2:00 this morning.
Yeah.
Jack Draper's been Medvedev, who of course is in great form. 2 titles this year already. There's been doubts over Medvedev over the last 12 months, but he certainly started 2026 in fine fettle. So, I mean, the issue you've really got is the top half. They've had a day to rest, and then you've got these guys. Every quarter final is going to get played overnight today. It's not a lot of recovery time for Jack, particularly with the injuries and questions over in the past. I think he maybe put them to bed at the 2024 US Open in terms of his ability to compete in hot temperatures and long matches. But I just don't know if it'll be enough recovery time with Medvedev. I don't know, because with Medvedev it's going to be a lot of rallying, a lot of balls either side of the court, a lot of running. And, it's just whether or not that 2.5 hours last night will catch up to Jack on this occasion.
Yeah. I mean, you've got the kind of the young energy in Jack. I'm not saying that Medvedev's old in any sense, Anna. But, there is a bit of a difference there. And, in the past, Medvedev has found things to complain about that are, the heat, the timings with his last match, and this one with Jack. But I think it will be a really good match to watch. I wouldn't want to put my money on it purely because I couldn't predict a winner.
Yeah. Keep your money.
Yeah.
I'll keep you up to date with the on-court at this moment in time as well. On the men's side is Arthur Fils, of course, another one who's coming back from a long way off and pressing, and Sasha Zverev. But Zverev's a break up already on that one, so he's 15-30 on his serve, but it's just into the second game. I think we're going to play, just when this one finishes, we're going to play a quick video. In fact, like John says, Mboko's got she had a break point, but Sabalenka's just served an ace down the tee. So I may have caught up with the scoreboard somehow, or maybe John's changed scoreboard. A lot going on. To answer Dan's earlier question, no, I haven't, Dan. I was hoping to try and get, when I was in the journalism world, I was hoping to try and get some press cred to go down, but that never really transpired. So maybe one day, my mum, who got me into tennis when I was younger, she's a big tennis fan, and it's something I'd maybe want to do for her in the next few years, if I can find the time. I've got 2 young children to try and manage as well. So if my mum's there, there's nobody doing childcare, so either take them or just wait until they're a wee bit older. But love to go. I love to them all. I always watch them and go, right, I need to get myself to one of these events, but I just can't find the time. Sabalenka has again aced when she was facing another break point. So we're back to Deuce. Rachel, John tells me you're a sports journalism student. Is that right?
Yeah, I am.
Whereabouts?
Yeah, Cheltenham.
Cheltenham. Oh God, this must have been a busy week for you.
Yes.
Are you in the halls?
No, I'm not. I live at home. I'm not too far away from Cheltenham, so it does get busy around this time.
It's a busy. The most ridiculous thing that I've never been to the horse. Oh, I've been to the horse races, but not to Cheltenham. Is this thing about all the Brits going to Benidorm to watch the horse racing? Have you heard of this one?
No, I haven't.
Everyone's going to Benidorm to watch the horse racing on a big TV, and it just boggles me because they're basically saying that Cheltenham and the accommodation around about your neck of the woods is so expensive these days that they can just jump over to Benidorm, get some cheap beers, sunshine, and some cheap accommodation, and there's like thousands of Brits going over there. As Sabalenka faces another break point, Mboko impressing so far. Cross-court forehand by Sabalenka. Good defence by Mboko. She puts the ball low, but it's a lovely drop shot again. I think that's the third break point Sabalenka has saved in this one. Sabalenka, of course, like I said at the start of the show, Rachel, that she's been imperious throughout this year. Getting to the Australian Open final, but that one's got to hurt, in terms of not seeing that one out, given her domination. Will the plan for Sabalenka just be get the next big title and just keep carrying on?
I think so, yeah. I think she's a very title-driven player at the moment. Obviously, she's got the world #1 title. I think she loves to win. She's well deserving of the wins that she has. But yeah, she will drive from title to title. And she's got the ability and she's got the strength to do so.
Yeah, she's serving well. Certainly when it's a bit of clutch serving. She just served an ace there to take herself to game point. So if she wraps this one up, as I mentioned, we'll take a short break, 13 seconds. I'm reliably informed, we'll then come back and take us through the further into the first set. But Sabalenka, it was going wide. It's clipped in net, but Mboko takes in advantage of that net cord, and so we're back to Deuce. Long game. This one must be about 5 or 6 minutes. And so, what year of your journalism course are you in, Rachel? Oh, she's disappeared. Didn't want to tell me that. Freshman. We're back to Deuce. That one from Sabalenka was going way wide. It hit the net, and then Mboko took advantage of it. Another big serve by Sabalenka. Sees Mboko block the ball wide. So we have another game point for Sabalenka. As always, anyone who's joining the stream for the first time, let us know where you're coming from. Hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already. We're up to 27,000. I remember doing this channel when we were down at about 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. And I'm not saying it's all down to me. In fact, it's probably not down to me at all. Look how the channel's growing. Sabalenka has seen out that game. However, John is now he's back. So we'll take a quick break, 13 seconds, as I mentioned.
So where do I see this one going? I think I'm talking myself into a Jack Draper win, but I'm going to do it over 3 sets. Maybe a tight third set, maybe another 7-5 or 7-6 for Draper in the third.
Oh, God, that's making me cringe. Always the self-promoter was John Silk. But yes, John, got it bang on. Probably that's his one for the rest of the year. So well done, John. He had a couple. 7 out of 8 on Tuesday, 8 out of 8. Okay, well, as I say, self-promoter. So no praise from me because he's got enough self-confidence in himself. Zverev has held his consolidated that early break. So it's 2-love early in that one against Arthur Feast, number 4 seed versus seed number 30. And of course, we have both draws, the women's and the men's quarterfinal day. Be a great day to be there, wouldn't it? Have you got any plans to try and get yourself to one of these events, Rachel?
Well, yes, I'd love to.
Good.
I've been to Wimbledon. Hey, Brenna.
Hey.
I've been to Wimbledon a good few times, but that's about it.
Well, we've got a party now because Brenner's joined us. How are we doing, fella?
I'm good. Tom, how are you?
I thought you were. Are you at Indian Wells? Have you just left Indian Wells? Because I was seeing in the chat that you were at Indian Wells.
I was there over the weekend, and then I was there Monday as well. Yeah.
Well, you've got to tell us now about your experience. How was it?
Yeah, it was tennis paradise, that's for sure.
Yes.
The location is really, really cool. Like just mountains surrounding you, so the backdrop is beautiful. Good weather, hot, but good weather. And yeah, I mean it was pretty busy this weekend, I must say. Monday was a little bit more relaxed. I'm sure if you've been on Twitter, you've kind of heard about the kind of ticket ordeal in terms of Stadium 2, Stadium 1. Long story short, like you either have to buy one or the other, and grounds passes only get you into Stadium 3 and outside court. So Stadium 2 is like very much empty.
And has that changed from previous years? Like
so I guess previously grounds passers were able to go into Stadium 2, at least the upper deck. So it was really just like the lower bowl. But yeah, I mean, I could go into it, but I had to like make decisions on like who I wanted to see, depending on like how much money I wanted to spend. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want to buy tickets for both stadiums. So most of the time I did a lower ticket in Stadium 2, and there weren't many people down there, so I could pretty much go down to like the first 5 rows.
And who did you manage to catch then?
Oh gosh, I watched so many matches, but Stadium 2 matches were I watched a little bit of Zverev, Nakashima. That was the first day, and then unfortunately Raducanu and Anisimova was not a good one, so I was not there for long. Cerundolo and Draper, I watched a second set there. I could go on, but I watched so many matches. I like to run around.
A hell of a lot of tennis.
Exactly. But anyway, let's get back to Sabalenka and Mboko.
Well, let me ask you then, in terms of, you mentioned you watched Anisimova and Raducanu, and of course Anisimova, fairly comfortable win. I'm sure I'm not shocking anyone to say that. But then Mboko then sees off Anisimova fairly comfortably as well. So what's going on?
Yeah, I think Indian Wells is a little bit of an outlier in a sense where, of course, it has like so much more. It's more amplified, right? We call it like the fifth slam. So I think there's a lot more tension around it. But also the conditions, they're very different to one, like a lot of outside courts, but just they're quite unique in terms of the courts, the wind, the weather variation from daytime to nighttime. And then just kind of like I think the pressure around the event like creates a little bit more of upset alerts in a sense. But in Mboko, I don't think there's like much to say about it besides the fact that she's that good. It's just the age next to her makes us kind of be like, oh. Anisimova is also that good. But
that's what I was going to ask. I was going to say, was it that much of a shock in terms of, I think it's number 10 and number 6 seed?
Right.
So it's not a huge shock, but like you say, when you consider Mboko over the last 12 months, if you were to say Indian Wells 2025, by the way, this girl Victoria Mboko is going to be the 10th seed in 12 months' time, you'd be like, who? So it does obviously then, like you say, the age limit comes as a side tag whenever she's around. And Rachel was saying at the start that she considered Mboko to potentially be a future number 1 in the world. But I suppose, Brenna, would just put that to you. Like, what is her ceiling?
Yeah, I think that's a realistic conversation. But the cool thing about the WTA is I think that's a realistic conversation for a number of girls or women on the tour, just like that bunch from 1 to 15. But there's also those outliers that have been up there in the past. So I think it's definitely a conversation just because of her age and her weapons. Like, it's just there's not many who possess that on the tour. So I think that sets her apart, and you can tell she's got a good demeanor to her. Already at this age, just like super competitive, really present in a lot of her matches, and she doesn't give up. So I think today should be a fight, especially in the daytime conditions. I think that helps her a little bit. So
yeah. I mean, it just shows you the nuances of tennis, like, in terms of like different ways and different paths that people have. Because she's talking about in the pre-match here on the UK Sky about, she's made really good friends with Coco Gauff, but Coco Gauff's only a couple of years older than you're thinking. That's mind-blowing that Coco Gauff, who's been around for what feels like the last decade, is only a couple of years her senior. And I'll come to you in a second, Rachel, but John's asking, do you think Mboko has any big weaknesses?
I'd say it's quite limited. Maybe a little bit of like changing direction, on the move, getting out of corners. But like, there's nothing like glaring. Serve always can improve, like second serve, but nothing like glaring to me besides like, improve the movement out of the corners a bit and maybe some decision making. But that's just like, that comes with being such a high, not necessarily like volume, but just like possessing such big weapons. Like, you're urging yourself to go for more when sometimes it's not there, or just like decision makings and based off that. So, but no, I think the number one is a realistic conversation. As I mentioned, I think there's a couple other girls or women in that as well, but she's the real deal.
And Rachel, I'll come to yourself. In terms of, there's no bigger power hitter than, Sabalenka in the women's game. Has Mboko got the power to, last those baseline rallies and stand her ground?
I mean, yeah, she obviously, she's young. She lacks the match experience of someone like Sabalenka. She hasn't experienced the level of matches in big tournaments like Indian Wells as much as someone like Sabalenka. And, Sabalenka's got huge forehands, huge backhands, and I think she's got one of the fastest on tour. So she needs to be consistent defensively, but also in her attacking shots, she needs to be crucial with her shot selection. So, it will really show if she can pull some games up, how she's sort of feeling, how she's playing.
Yeah, I mean, she's Sabalenka sailed first in this match, so it's all about Mboko just trying to stay with her, isn't it? But talk about Sabalenka's power, she just used it there to pull up 40-15. It was a serve 1-2. Serve, kicker, serve. She's just right on that +1, and Mboko didn't even move. So Mboko has won the next point though, so we're at 40-30. I'll maybe talk through, just commentate on this one in case there's anyone not actually watching the match live. And then we can get back into conversation. Did you see Brenner John's cheap video that he was desperate to put on the channel there? Did you see it?
No, what was it?
It was him predicting the Jack Draper.
Oh, yes, of course. I did see it. He's had quite the prediction streak.
Selfless, that guy.
Crazy.
What a guy. We'll come on to that match, Brenner, because I'd be keen to gauge your thoughts if you manage to catch it. But I'll just talk us through them. We're on a second serve for Sabalenka. She gets the ball in court, a big kicker serve. So Mboko's been taken out wide. She gets the ball, must have landed right on the line. So we've got a looping ball here. Sabalenka's flattened it out now. It's forehand to forehand deep into the corner, cross court by Sabalenka. And it's a winner by Mboko up the line. Probably her best point of the match. I don't think Sabalenka agrees that it was in. But, we've got electronic line calling, so it must have been in. It was well in. It was well in.
89-mile-an-hour winner, by the way.
Fantastic. So that's answered my question of can she, handle those baseline rallies where it's just like trying to outmuscle each other. She's just hit the net cord on her return. She's now loading up to go for the forehand. Sabalenka changes that up with a backhand cross court and punches the air. I think this is the second the second out of 3 service games that Sabalenka has been taken to the juice. So she knows that she's not going to get it easy, and I suppose that's what Mboko is trying to do, is just keep the pressure up early, not let her settle. So yeah, I'll see out this one, and then we'll come on to Djokovic and Draper, I think, because that is the talk of the town, as I said. Sabalenka goes for the body serve, Mboko's right on top of it, and Sabalenka goes long. She's not firing, got to be honest. Aryna has been a bit wayward, and the serve's really, dug her out of a hole so far in this match. So Djokovic, Draper, Brenner.
Yeah, epic, man, epic.
Got to be one of the match of the year. Even when we're sitting here in December, it's got to be one of those matches of the year.
I was kind of, John again predicted it, so I give him credit, but I was kind of on the same page. I kind of just feel like I was having this conversation with Fergus, actually, where it's like outside of the slams, he's just a little bit more vulnerable, and he just hasn't had a good track record here as well.
Do you think, just saying that, do you think if that was a 5-setter, I mean, it doesn't really matter where it was, but do you think if that was a 5-setter, Djokovic would have come through that? Because he looked like he'd given his all in those 2.5 hours. Like, he was running on fumes towards the end.
Yeah, it was kind of like, not necessarily, you can't replicate it to like Cincinnati with Alcaraz, but just like, three sets that are, ended up being brutal in the end.
Yeah, he's getting oxygen, he's getting ice, like in the midway through that second set against Alcaraz, you're thinking, he's done, he's toast. This is only a matter of time. And then somehow,
Rachel, did you catch it? What did you think?
I didn't see any of it, and I haven't watched the highlights, which is bad.
Tom, what about you?
Yeah, I mean,
you like Draper?
I didn't watch it live, but it was a wee bit too early in the morning for me. But got up today and just watched the kind of extended highlights. I thought, I'll just repeat what I said to Rachel. I thought, I think it might have been 4-3 Draper in the second set. Djokovic has a few break points, or certainly Draper was 40 love up and then had a double fault to make it juice. And you're thinking, if Djokovic, this is the moment, these are the moments where Djokovic just basically nicks this game and then he's serving it out for the match. And it just shows you, the old adage of tennis is either the stupidest point system or the best, because, 2 more strikes to the racket and he could be serving for that match. And I thought when Draper came out of that one, again, remember, I'm already know the scoreline before it, but I thought when Draper came out of that one, it was quite inevitable. I thought, he's going to break in this next. Well, he must break in this next game because I know But I just thought that was good. That was good, character to go right. I'm going to be the one that's going to nick this close set. Obviously, that point, as I mentioned to Rachel, that point at the start of the third was pretty epic. I can't really remember a point just like it in terms of the variety and in terms of you usually get those big kind of moments where the crowd are going and screaming and all that, and then basically the points over fairly quickly after that.
Yeah.
But on this occasion, that happened, and then it happened another 2 or 3 times where Draper was hitting the drop shot, he was lobbing Djokovic, he was hitting the backhand volley overhead, and still it wasn't finished. So I thought, obviously, again, I said to Rachel, I've never ever been the biggest fan of Djokovic for a variety of reasons, but he certainly went up in my estimation, and I don't know if I'm starting to like him more as he gets older, where he doesn't seem to care as much. Because I was always a big Rafa fan, so it was always my kind of rival.
For sure.
And maybe it's because Rafa's not in the scene anymore, but I'm starting to certainly go up a little bit in my Christmas card list, because I just thought the way even watching that tiebreak, I was the way that he was changing direction. Djokovic has been famous. Nobody can really change direction of the ball when it's coming to him at speed like Novak Djokovic, and he was that one that comes cross court and then he just changes it to go down the line, and the opponent can't, most of the times, can't last with that for 2 or 3 hours when he keeps on doing it. They just can't work their feet. And I thought, he was hitting the ball well, and this wasn't a Jack Draper who was hitting a who was playing Novak Djokovic, who was maybe 12 months ago, out of form, injured, old. This looked like a Novak Djokovic who was like, 2 or 3 years ago when he was winning slams. So I think certainly for Djokovic, I think that he might just put everything into the slams. And that's his prerogative. He's won 24, 25 of them. So it's up to him what he wants to do. But I think he will win. He will be a major player at the rest of the year at these big events. And well played, Jack Draper. I don't know if he'll be able to recover in time for the Medvedev match. As I said to Rachel, that's going to be a long match. That's going to be a lot of rallies. That's going to be a lot of running. And will he be able to recover in such a short space of time? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't want to interrupt you, and I also want to say something about Jack too. But Arthur Fees just loses he was trying to hold for 3-2, or 2-3 rather. Ends up getting broken after saving a few break points and just absolutely demolishes the racket. He's playing Zverev.
Oh, you got that one on as well.
Yeah. But Sabalenka has 2 break points here. Just locked in on a return.
Serve ace though, an ace by Mboko. That's always the best. Surely got to be the best feeling when you're, you don't have to do much to get that point other than just get the ball in the right place when you're serving it. So well played. So yeah, it's very 4-1 up now. Yannick Sinner, did he show you that he's not going anywhere? There has been questions. And by the way, Mboko just saved the second break point with a human serve volley, but a lovely drop volley. Sinner coming through against Fonseca. Rachel, I'll maybe start with you. Did that even surprise you? Many people, I certainly woke up and went, oh, he won it in 2 sets, very close sets. But I was actually pleased that he came through it. But it kind of surprised me. I thought Fonseca might have taken that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, another one that I didn't watch live, but I have seen the highlights. Fonseca's a player who could almost do an Mboko in this tennis calendar. I think he's gonna rise through the ranks. But it was very, very tight. I don't think it was dominated by one or the other. I think it was match experience and shot selection that helps in that sort of have the turning point to advance through.
Yeah, totally agree. And Brenner, Sinner, as I said, there's been questions about, is he fading a little bit? Is things catching up to him a little bit? Thoughts on Yannick and coming through that one?
Yeah. Sabalenka just missed that open court beforehand. Was just trying to flip the court. Missed it. Would have had a 4th break point, but does go into Mboko. For me, I'm kind of like where you stand in that sense, where it's I'm happy that Sinner came through that, and I'm just astonished kind of at the play that Fonseca had. The result, I just didn't expect it to be that close, to be honest, because I do hold Yannick to that high standard still, as Mboko does hold. I hold Yannick to that high standard that, I don't think he is going anywhere. Small margins in the sport. I don't necessarily know how much he's trying to switch up, but I think last night or 2 nights ago it was just kind of went back to what he knows best, which is controlled aggression in a sense, where he's going to keep coming at you, but, stepping up on those second serves, hitting them big. Once again, a +1, always aggressive, and, just put a little bit more pressure on Fonseca to come up with, things that
was the change in Sinner. I remember, I think tail end 2024, it was the serve that was the massive improvement, because he was winning a lot of points, but the serve wasn't really hitting it. And then it was, when it came to the indoor season, and he'd improved that serve, and then, started to actually close the gap on the Alcaraz, the Djokovic matches, and then he would start beating them regularly. So, I think that if he kind of went back to the drawing board a little bit with that, you'll see. I agree. I don't think he's going anywhere. If I was to say to you, Brenner, who would be the new top 4? So you've got the new 2, Alcaraz and Sinner. And would you argue against me if I said potentially over the next 10 years, you could have Fonseca in that crowd, maybe Arthur Fils, any other names, or do you disagree? What do you
Those
think?
are definitely two names I would have said. I have one more, two more. I guess there's maybe three realistic ones right now, which would be. I still think Runa has a shot if he comes back healthy.
I want Runa to
Shelton.
be that guy.
I think Shelton. I think he's not far off. He's shown that he's not far off, but at the same time, these guys are way too good. He just has no wins, right? So he has the one win against Sinner. The other times it just hasn't been close, right? It's just
Ghosty's shouting Leonard Tien.
And that's the third one I would say. I don't know.
Not Jack Draper?
Draper for sure. Draper for sure, actually. I would definitely that's the other guy I was thinking of. I think Draper's so polished and he's just such a good mover. Even so quick, I know that wasn't his injury, but just so good to see him move out of the corners. He's sliding into these shots too, hitting them open stance. He's just so athletic and powerful. So even at his age, recovering from his injury, I think he'll be there. And just like a lefty, it just poses something different,
Yeah, it's good. It's certainly potential to be an exciting time, and we need that. We need that because there has been these cries that in terms of the men's side, tennis is a little bit boring because it's always been Alcaraz and Sinner for the last 18 months. Winning everything, competing in every final. You do want that variety, don't you? You want you get a little bit. We're silly humans. We cry out for a new kind of dominating force, and then we then cry that it's too boring with this dominating force. So, Sabalenka, talking about power and athleticism, Sabalenka with a backhand there. It's now 40-30 to bring up 40-15 though. What a backhand that was. I don't know if you guys saw that. Yeah. Cross-court backhand.
What a shot.
Oh, you're just there?
Yeah.
I think I'm a little bit ahead. She's just hit an outstanding forehand cross-court.
Okay. So
you're point ahead, I think.
So she's serving. She's hit a forehand cross court. She's went for a drop shot. Mboko's picked it up, and wow, that's the one you're talking about.
Wow,
that's the one.
Well played, Aryna Sabalenka. So 4-3.
Amazing.
Hi, Ghosty. By the way, I didn't say hello to you. It appears that white hoodie's just about finished consuming Tom Hole. What are you trying to say? Ghosty? It's nice and warm. It's actually a bit too warm. So I maybe relinquish this at the end of this first set. But yeah, anything else happening in the tennis world then in terms of matches coming up? What else can we kind of dissect?
Do you guys want the Synchronized final? I think it's about time. I'm ready for another.
You're ready for another?
Yeah.
So when was the last? Nah.
Last one was ATP finals.
Yeah.
November.
I do like it how they want to win the one and it doesn't really go through a period where the other one dominates. I thought Alcaraz was kind of had his number for a while, and then Sinner won that at Wimbledon, then Alcaraz won US Open, and then Sinner again at the ATP final. I mean, I've got to say, Alcaraz. Now, I've actually again probably a big fanboy of Alcaraz here, but I've not managed to catch a lot of his matches because he's playing at night a lot. I did catch the first set against Casper Ruud. I'm sure I saw somewhere that the Tennis Insights had about 9.7 for that first set, which was the highest of the year. I don't know if I'm totally making this up. I think I was just.
No, you're not. That's true.
Is that true? Right. So it did get me thinking. I wonder if Alcaraz is now going through his absolute he's been a young guy who is far above his age, but I just wonder if he's starting to hit his peak. Because it just seems to be he's so dominant right now in terms of this 2026. Do you know what I mean?
It's insane. I kind of am in the same boat as you. As I am more of a Alcaraz guy as opposed to Sinner, but just because of
Can't tell Greg that. Greg in the Talking Tennis WhatsApp, big Sinner fan, hates Alcaraz. Honestly, hates him.
Yeah. No, I mean it's I don't know if it's even I mean, we'll get there. In terms of rivalry. But yeah, it does feel like Carlos is on top at the moment.
Yeah, certainly. It'll be interesting to see him and Cam Norrie later on this evening. I think Alcaraz has even cited he's out for revenge after Norrie beat him indoor last year. So Cam Norrie, Alcaraz. Can you see Norrie getting anything in that one?
Not much, unfortunately.
Yeah, it'll go to 3 sets.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Does Norrie win the first set or the second set?
Both. No.
Right.
No, I think Norrie's going to win the first set 7-5, and then it will be a 6-2, 6-1 maybe for Alcaraz.
Okay, nice.
Hey,
Mboko in a little bit of trouble here. She's 15-30 down. She's just looked a little bit, don't want to say tired. She's 19. We're in the first set. But we are in the 4th round of a Masters. And it is warm out there, as Brenner can testify. But just right into the net. But it was well, there you go. She shut me up. She just served an ace. So we're back to 30 all.
That is some serve too.
Yeah.
Almost like short angle with some kick. Yeah, I hit it 98.
She can find that mark most times. And then I think she likes going down the tee on the deuce side. So Sabalenka's in a fight here. 2 points away from being 4 all. Did you hear that when Brenner was saying that Sabalenka's only lost 2 sets all year?
That's crazy.
And that was in the Australian Open final to Rybakina.
Yeah. Although, is this her? This might be her second tournament of the year.
I think it's 52 sets to 2. I only heard it when I was just about to come in. 3rd tournament.
Am I third? Yeah. Sorry.
Am I right, John, saying it's 52-2?
I don't know if that
may be too much.
10. It would be 12, 24-2.
Are you working this out, like literally doing the math in your head live on this channel?
Yeah. No, I think it'd be like 32. It would either be 32 or 34.
Okay.
That's 1 and 2 loss. I could be even off. I don't know. I tried to do it quickly. But...
So it's 14 sets to 2 in the Australian. Would it be 40? It would be. No, but she didn't win. Right, okay. Do you know what? Math is my strong point. That's why I did journalism, because words I can do, numbers I can't. Mboko double faults at aim point. She smacks her right foot with a racket. Not happy with that one, of course. On to deuce. Great time to break if Sabalenka can do it, because then she'll be 7 for the first set. It might take a little bit of the wind out of Mboko's sails. Of course, these two, as I said, played already this year. Sabalenka winning into, I think it was 7-6, 6-1 or the other way around. Oh, and Sabalenka mishits the ball. Tries to claim that the ball was maybe long, but as I said, we've got electronic line calling. So, Ghost, what's been happening with you? Give us a bit of chat, other than just talking nonsense. Big call, John, undefeated over the last 48 hours. People are talking. Did we find the answer to the Sabalenka? How many sets she's won this year? No.
That's a good one.
So we're at 4 all, and Mboko sees that one out. Each game, though, close games. 45 minutes and we're only in game 9.
Yeah. Big hitting contest.
So, how, in terms of travel time for you, Brenner, to get to and from Indian Wells, you'll need to remind me what part of the States you're at. So, was it a couple of flights, one flight driving?
Yeah, a lot of flights. It was kind of chaotic getting there. Way back wasn't too bad, but 3 flights took me essentially all day.
Because
that was the cheapest way to do it. What's up?
Indian Wells is it's not like it's anywhere near LA or anything like that. It's quite far out.
No, yeah, it's near Palm Springs. It's closest to Palm Springs. Half an hour, 45 minutes.
And so the nearest airport for that is still LAX then, or?
No, it would be Palm Springs, but LAX is 2-ish hours. So. Yeah, but I live in Boston, so all the way on the other side of the country.
Do you know, I was going to be going to Boston because of this World Cup, but I've decided not to go to the World Cup.
Really?
So I would have come and seen you, but
what?
Obviously, your city's going to be invaded by the Scots in June, but there'll be great crack. Don't worry about it. But Foxborough, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. It's where the Patriots play.
Right. Although there's this thing, in fact, tomorrow's the deadline about whether or not it's actually going to be in Boston.
They confirmed it last night. Yeah.
So it's been confirmed that it is in Boston.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. Because I just heard that there was a chance that it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, I know. Big surprise, last minute.
Always the way with these things, yeah. Do we floss? Let's get it up. This is the kind of content you get when talking tennis.
It's a good pull.
No, my missus does. I probably should, but I do not. Dan, to answer you, why am I not going to the World Cup? It's going to be about 10 grand, and I'm saving up for a house this year. And I was just like, can I justify an expense of £10,000? I'm talking, you were getting Airbnbs around about the Boston area for £1,400 for 2 nights, 3 nights. It was just ridiculous. I had loads booked on booking.com without them actually, where I don't have to pay. And then I just was like, aye. Anyway, there's a chat going on about £10,000 for soccer, it's football, and then you've got John still going on about mouthwash. I assume he's just out the shower and he's brushing his teeth.
Wow. Mboko rips that return.
Was that on the first serve or the second serve? Because that's tasty.
First, 89 again. Jeez.
This is going to be another juice game. Sabalenka was, of course, 40-love up, but she hits the first serve into the top of the net and it bounces wide. She does look frustrated. She's cutting a frustrated figure out there, as Aryna Sabalenka. But she gets the second serve in. It's wide kicker. Good defence by Mboko, who kind of neutralises the rally by putting it high. Sabalenka uses her power with the forehand. She's going to switch corner now, as she does. So Mboko's been pulled court to court, and she goes along with that. Sorry, not court to court, side to side on the court.
It was almost identical to that point earlier. Sabalenka hitting the wide kicker, Mboko lob, return, lands deep, gets herself back in the point. Very good wide kicker, Sabalenka has. So good for these courts.
See, now I think that Zverev has
a break point here.
Zverev's set point 6-2, 2 breaks against Arthur Fils. Does that surprise you, Rachel, in terms of Arthur Fils and, how well he's been doing recently? Or is Zverev just, that good?
I wouldn't describe Zverev being that good, but no, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's tough for Arthur Fils. Obviously, he's been playing super good tennis, but I would pick Zverev to win over Fils.
I thought Arthur Fils, he doesn't look happy. He's had a code violation for smashing his racket at the end of that one. But yeah, I thought Arthur Fils, playing some decent tennis, thought he could trouble. He still might. Just might be a bad first set, but I just didn't think that Zverev would have a comfortable afternoon. So yeah, they're struggling in the sun. Yeah, Fils and Zverev looking like they're struggling in the sun. Warm out there, I think 31, 32 degrees. What did it get to when you were there, Brenna?
I didn't check. It was probably like 80 to 85, 87 maybe. I know it was going to be super hot this weekend there, though. Yeah, it's 90 there right now.
Mental.
I do play tennis, Ghosty, yeah.
Lovely.
I also think the do we floss question still being up here is absolutely crazy. There we go.
You don't get that in other channels, especially from the producer. So we're now at the business end of the set, really, aren't we? Mboko putting a lot of pressure on Sabalenka, and she goes long with that one. So could be going for a tie break here. There's not been, I can't really remember many break points. I know Mboko had a couple. Sabalenka, I think, had one or two as well. But it's
Had
not
a
been a
lot.
classic, really.
Had 3, maybe? At least 3. Was it all in one game, though? I don't know.
Yeah, there was definitely, I remember you saying, oh, Mboko's got two break points to face.
Yeah. Let's see.
Sabalenka again goes long with the return, so 30 love. Well, we've got Świątek. She's into a bit of form again. That one shocked me a bit with Mukova. I think she won the last 10 games.
Yeah.
So Świątek needs I think she's a win though, just to kind of try and get herself back in the conversation a little bit.
For sure. It's a great place to do it. I think she's capable of it. I just need to see like the ankle. She rolled up on her ankle a little bit. Actually, not even rolled up on him, but just slid into it and came up a little hobbled.
Was that 5 love in the second?
Yeah, 5 love in the second, 15-40. She ends up winning the game, but
she was 40-15 down.
Yeah, you don't really know with the ankle. You might need to let it cool down. See if it's well set at all.
Because it was funny because John had put in the chat, oh, that's Świątek win or something, and then I put it on, I seen the message and they put the tennis on 15 minutes later, she's still playing, and I'm like, how's this? And then when she fell, I was like, imagine she had to retire injured, and then John's called that she'd won it, and he would take that as a prediction win. Do you know what I mean? And then basically the Sky then moved away from that. It was just like one of those bits where they just jump into a match and say, this is what the score is. So, my screen's now went off. So Rachel, just when you cut off earlier on, I was asking what year of your sports journalism course are you in? Are you in first, second, third, fourth?
Third year. Sorry, no, not. I'm in second year.
Second year.
Second year.
What are some of the modules or courses you need to do? Because I did journalism is the reason why I'm asking.
Oh, nice. We're doing commentary at the moment, talk radio. We do like a news day where we simulate a newsroom for the whole day and get of local and national news. It's good fun. I'm on the same course as Fergus, so
nice. Love that. I did that. I did a 6-month fast track course to get my diploma with the NCTJ, and one of the ones was a video journalism module, and they were like, you had to go out and get a local story, as you were talking about. So I went out, and there was a guy around my area who basically the council had taken away all the dog poo bins. I can't believe I'm talking about this. And so he was on Facebook saying, I'm going to start making my own dog poo bins and start putting them up about the area. So I contacted him saying, listen, mate, I'm a trainee journalist. This is a great wee story. Can I come and interview him? So I did it, wee video journalism. A week later, basically a place came up, a local newspaper, the Clydebank Post it was called. And they were like, have you got any examples of any local stories? And I'm like, well, actually, I do. There's this guy in my neck of the woods who's building his own dog poo bins, and they gave me the job on the spot because of it. So my point is, you never know what story you're working on. Keep it there because you don't know what job's going to be going. Give us an example or something. Because that was my journey. So I was in that for 3.5 years journalism, and I've just kind of stepped out over the last 6 months, and I'm into content creation now, basically making social media videos for a company. So enjoying it, but still trying to dip my toe into the kind of sports journalism. Sometimes do football up here with a local radio station, a regional radio station, Clyde One. So keep with it. It's a good. You get some amount of access to places with journalism in terms of sporting events and, you know, politicians. You know, you get your press pass and you can just walk out. I did the Open, the golf Open at Troon 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Interviewed the First Minister of Scotland about 5 or 6 times. Doorstepped Nicola Sturgeon who was the ex-First Minister when she was at a funeral. Had to turn up and throw a mic in her face and ask her a few questions about Alex Salmon. So it is a great wee career. Just very, very, you know, intense, and you know, you've always got to kind of just be on your what's going on around the world. You know, like I was thinking, I used to work in the Glasgow Times, which is a big paper up in Glasgow.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you have heard about the big fire that was up here on Sunday. So basically, there's a Victorian building connected. Yeah. So there's a Victorian building connected to Glasgow Central Station, and a vape shop in this Victoria building basically started going on fire, and locals around the place started throwing water on the vape shop fire. Now, obviously, it's a lithium fire, an electronic fire, so you can't throw water on it, and that just makes it worse. So when they threw water on it, there was explosions, and the fire basically took hold of the building and brought the building down. It's been a big story over here, but I was just thinking that was Sunday night at like 7 o'clock, and I was just thinking those journalists will be out there on a Sunday night, get ready for the working week, and they'll be told, get to Glasgow Central right now. Good times. Anyway, back to the tennis. Sorry about my biography there. Mm-hmm. What's happening, Brenner? You've been watching while we've been chatting journalism.
Yeah. Love hold for Sabalenka, and we're on our way here. So as you mentioned, hopefully the breaker is on its way. They did play one breaker. Now for
it was in the last match, wasn't it? Was that the first set of the last match? I was saying that earlier on. I don't know.
It was the second set. AO.
So Sabalenka won the first one 6-1, and then won the second one 7-6, 7-1. She won it.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
You guys like predictions? Brenner, you're on a hot streak after calling Jack Draper last night, so I'll start with you.
I mean, hey, I didn't publicly call it, but I was leaning that way. I appreciate it.
John, who's winning this tiebreak? Mr. Mystic Meg?
Seriously. Tell us who's winning now.
Rachel, who do you think? Is Sabalenka looking like the stronger player?
I've got Sabalenka.
I think this sets up for grabs, but the match maybe not as much. But yeah,
you think Mboko needs to, obviously, I mean, this is the stupidest question, but like being one set down to number one down the world,
hear you.
I think, you know, it would be important for her to get this set, and then she's got something to defend, and you know, maybe not shit in the second set.
Yeah, no, I think Mboko is capable of taking it.
Because, you know, how many times do you see these players maybe lose 7-6 and then get broken in the very next game of the second set, and then the whole confidence goes a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's quite important for Mboko. It's more important for Mboko than Sabalenka this tiebreak.
Yeah.
So Sabalenka, she was serving first and won the first point. She's not returned that one because it was a fault. It was just a little bit long. So Mboko's second serve. Down the tee, fairly tame serve, and Sabalenka's on it straight away. And yeah, she puts the pressure on, pushes Mboko back, and a backhand into the net from the Canadian. And it is a mini break for Sabalenka, so love two.
I think Sabalenka, I don't know if she's on a super big streak or her record is just insane in like some sort of fashion, but she might be on a tiebreak streak.
That's a good point. I mean, yeah, the best players usually have. Is John asking that? Don't know. Like, you know, in terms of the power and the serves that she's got, yeah, she's going to pick up a lot more 3 points. I mean, Mboko just went into the net there again, and so she's 2 mini breaks down. Remember the last one in the second set of the Australian Open fourth round, it was 7-1 to Sabalenka, and if she wins her 2 services, she's just got a bit disorientated there with the serve. I don't know if it was the sunlight. Hopefully there's no bees back. I was playing paddle the other day. All right, don't shoot me, Brenner. Do you play paddle? Have you played paddle?
No, like padel or paddle?
Padel, yeah.
Yeah. I know I haven't, and no, I would not. Like I haven't played that game, but it looks cool, and it's like You know,
It's
better
cool
than
for
pickleball.
the 41-year-old youngster going through a midlife crisis and is taking up paddle big time and plays 3 or 4 times a week. Was playing at 9 o'clock at night last night.
Love it.
But we were playing. In fact, I played twice yesterday, and in the first game we were playing like it's not outdoors; it's in a gazebo, and there's loads of pigeons. Now the 3 guys that I play with, they're not into tennis at all. But anyway, we're in the third set. Pigeon poops on one of the boys, right? And we're all laughing about it and that. And I'm like, this is nearly as bad as Indian Wells a couple of years ago when bees all stopped the Alcaraz match and they were up here, what? And I was telling them all about it and they were like, that's mental. So anyway, 5 love Sabalenka. I said that she won her 2 serves. Pretty ominous now for Mboko, although Arthur Feast came back from 5 love against Felix Auger-Aliassime, but he did not come back from 6 love down. That is some return by Sabalenka. Took it early, backhand, found the angle. Again, like I said to you, it can be dispiriting for the youngster. She's worked hard to get herself in this position.
No, she has.
Did you see Arthur Feast and Felix Auger-Aliassime when he came back from?
I was traveling, so I didn't, but I heard all about it.
21-2 in tiebreaks. Is that since last year? I'd assume so.
Yep.
He was playing pretty poorly. The guy who got pooped on. Just going to use another word there. So maybe. And it's a 7 love tiebreak win for Sabalenka. So pretty dominant. Let's hope my prediction isn't going to come true. I assume Rachel's left us. Maybe I was chatting too much about pigeon poop and she didn't have a chance to say goodbye. She did tell me at the start that she had about an hour and we've been on for what? Over an hour now, I think. Yeah. So that'll be her away. How long have I got you, Brenner?
What was that?
How long are you going to hang around for?
Oh yeah, I have another like 10 to 15 minutes.
Ah, excellent. Always love having your company. Yes, Ghost, without me saying that online, that's the word that I was going to use. What else has been happening, Brennan? How's life? What else is going on?
Life is good. It's busy. I'm in school, so.
Tell me you were doing some sort of sports last time we chatted on the phone.
Yeah. I'm in law school, but
have I made
doing
it up?
what I can in the sports sector of that. What's that?
I don't know. I thought you were playing a sport. I don't know. Did I just make that up? Maybe I'm misremembering.
I did play college soccer.
That was what we talked about. That was it.
Yeah. I played a little bit of pickup recently, actually, which is fun. And then it's getting warmer. Well, not really. There was a couple nice warm days in New England, but spring is getting here, so get out and play some tennis as well. Yeah.
I think my tennis legacy might be on the back burner for padel. I think so. I think I had my peak season of 2024 where I picked up a racket again, was loving it. And then, like I say, I only started playing paddle in October last year. And it was just on a whim. 3 guys that I know basically texted me and said, we need a body for paddle. Do you want to come up? And I'm like, I've never played before. They were like, it's cool. Went up and just
tell me about it. What do you love about it? I think it looks pretty cool.
So it's I think it's more tennis is obviously you're trying to hit a winner. You're trying to get the ball to bounce twice, but you're trying to hit the ball past your opponent. At paddle, that whole element is taken out because as soon as you hit that pass, it's going to bounce and hit off the wall because it's a smaller court.
Right.
So it bounces and hits off the wall. If you hit it with a lot of pace, it's going to bounce off the wall and it's going to sit up and your opponent's going to he's going to then hit it back to you. Like in terms of he's going to take the power that you've just generated from the ball and use it against you. So paddle's very strategic. You've got to try and place your shots. You've got to try and build the points or try and move your opponent about so you can find the space and then, you know, put it away. So I like that element of it. I like the element of, like, I got a lot of my friends into it after that one game that I played. I got like 8 of us into it. So we've got a WhatsApp group now. We play, like I said, 2 or 3 times a week.
That's great.
And we're all kind of progressing. And it's all like 1 week I'll beat somebody and me and my partner will beat somebody. And then the next week, it's all like I won my first game yesterday, but then got absolutely humped last night. I'm talking 2 bagels last night, Brendan. Like I was 6-3, 6-love, 6-love, and then they were actually winning 5-1 in the 4th set that we were playing because we still had time, and then the time was up. But that was a bruising and a humbling. Wow. But no, I just love it. And also, it's not a lot of running. It's not tons of running. There is a bit of athleticism to it, but you know, you can. It's all about just like where you are on the court and try to place it and find angles. And I think tennis is maybe just a bit too fast for my 41-year-old legs these days. Anyway, back to the tennis again. I told you Mboko, do not get broken here. She's at 30 all. What's going on?
Yeah, let's see.
She's just served a second serve ace though.
Wow.
No, I haven't played squash. Although funnily enough, I did get asked that off a guy in the gym the other day. So that's the second time in 3 days I've been asked if I ever played squash.
It's a cool sport. It's
one of the fastest sports, I think. One of the fastest sports to play. Like one of the most athletic you need to be, I think, because you're just constantly running about. Mboko, it's going the same way as the first set. Very close service game, but it looks like she's going to see it out 40-30. Loopy return by Sabalenka. Forehand down the line by Mboko. She gets to the ball, but it's Sabalenka who's dictating. She doesn't. Oh, I thought that was in, but it wasn't. She didn't find the angle. Pushed just a little bit long.
Yeah. Looking in the chat here.
Yeah, having a wee swatch. I think paddle will be an Olympic sport within the next few years, by the way, just to finish on that.
That's a good call. That's a good call. Yeah, Darwin Blanche getting a wild card to Miami. Yeah, he does. He did last year, actually the last 2 years, I think. IMG wild card. Yep, he beat Atman in Phoenix.
Let me ask you, in terms of this swing, with Miami coming up as well, what's your favourite event? Is it this one?
In the US or?
Yeah, just in the, in terms of the 2 tournaments that are back to back,
which part of the Sunshine Double do I like? Well, I've now been to both of them. I'm lucky to say that. Indian Wells, like maybe a bit more. I think they possess similar vibes. Miami is very much a party environment in terms of like the grounds itself. They have a lot of like cool bars and they got music playing everywhere and so much food and whatnot. And like Indian Wells has similar kind of grounds in a sense where they have like a DJ area. They have little like pop-up bars. Like it's super cute.
Did you get one of the? Was it the drop shot or
the drop shot? Yeah. I got one for because I like the souvenir cups.
Was it something like $26? Am I making that up?
Yeah, and it wasn't that good.
It wasn't
good at all, really.
They were actually, funnily enough, they were talking about it on the Sky commentary in one of the matches. It might have been Feasting and Ogier Aliassime, actually. They were talking about when you go to like New York and the US Open. Everyone's drinking a honeydew. Is that what they're called? Honeydew?
Yeah, honeydews. Yeah. Honeydews.
But this one you didn't see that many people drinking the drop shot, the signature drink. But I was thinking to myself, they're saying this and it's like 6 p.m. here in the UK, so it must be about 11 o'clock in the morning. That's why you're not getting folks sitting there firing into the Swally. It was Sabalenka looking fairly comfortable on serve here. I've said that before, though. As of yet, no breaks of serve in this one. We have had, 14 games now. This is the 15th, and we've got a point away from another love hold. And that's what she gets. So they sit down at, or they don't sit down, sorry. There's only been 2 games. So it's 1-1. Arthur Feast is a breakdown again in the second set. So it looks like Alexander Zverev more than likely going to see that one out and be into the semi-finals. I think he's dangerous at this event, got to say. I just watched him against... Who did I watch him against? Who was he playing in the last round?
Tiafoe?
Yes, good shout. Watched him against Tiafoe, and I just thought he looked his usual solid self. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, looks good. I think he has a little bit more time on the forehand, able to set it up, use kind of the loopiness to it. Generates a lot of topspin, so that's good. And then you're just never really gonna win a backhand to backhand rally against him because you're not gonna have enough, like, just once again the courts just don't like really allow you to like deflect pace or really generate it, and Sasha's just gonna have so much time back there because he likes to hang a little deeper in the baseline. So he's just like a wall in a sense, and he's tough to hit through. But once again, like, can he hang around against Carlos in center? Yeah, but I still don't think he would get it done here this week.
Let me ask you then. Well, no, I couldn't disagree with that. I've got a sneaky suspicion that he might nick a win off maybe Sinner and get to the final. But again, I was actually just about to ask you, Leonard Tien, obviously, big talk about this guy now. He's certainly making his mark in the game of tennis, and there's a lot of, certainly in our group chat and the Talking Tennis, there's a lot of chat about Leonard Tien. Yannick Sinner tonight, this isn't a gimme, is it? Like, in terms of this matchup, I mean, he holds a 1-0 record, Sinner, over Leonard Tien, but, we're a wee bit further down the roads for both players now. The indifferent form, I mean, it's not even been in different form for Sinner. I don't know why I keep saying that. He's had a bad couple of months in terms of like not getting to the final of the Australian Open. But yeah, where does Leonard Tien then? Does he have a decent shot at this?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing, Tom. He has a lot of confidence. He really does believe in himself and his game, and like he continues to prove people wrong. I think like his weaponry is the thing that like lacks against the big talents. And what was it? I think Beijing final where Tien kind of had a great week. Sinner was like fine and kind of just thrashed him. But that was like kind of expected. I think Tien just has to hold like an extremely high level for such a long period of time. And then kind of like I'd say like kind of limited play style against Sinner. Like you're just repeatedly going to get the same ball, and his backhand is just, so good. So you're not really going to win that lefty forehand to the backhand cross that much. Whereas against like the other guys, like you're going to at least win a lot more of those rallies. So that's where I just think it becomes difficult. But I think it's a conversation to have. Like, let's see, like top 10, could it happen? Yeah, I don't see why not. Like, he's such a pest. He's so difficult to deal with. And he's like just continuing to improve the variety. It's a fun watch.
Yeah. And just to mention, Sabalenka did have a break point there. And another one who's a fun watch is Victoria Mboko, because she's shown a bit of grit here. As I said, very often you see these matches where the lesser player, in terms of ranking and the person who's maybe not as experienced, fight their way to a tie break, maybe lose it. She lost it 7-love. She could have easily just kind of down tools here, but she's not giving up, and she's got Sabalenka running about the court here, and she's just won that game. Fantastic from Victoria Mboko. She's not going anywhere. 2-1. She was a break point down there, but served and the ground strokes were really, really on fire there.
That's a really impressive point. Yeah, as I mentioned, like just so like hungry, determined, confident player, and fearless out there. But gotta also give these two credit. This is brutal conditions. It's like probably 93, 95 on court.
So what's happening with Arthur Fils? I've just jumped to Stadium 2. There must be something that happens here, because Sky wouldn't jump to this at 2-4-30 love. with Arthur Fils.
Interesting. He just want to crawl. He won a good point, but nothing.
Oh, was that it?
Nothing out of the ordinary. Yep.
Ah, right. I thought he was going to maybe, because he's already had a violation, I thought he was going to maybe lose a point and smash his racket. And
that would be awesome.
Do you know that way? I don't know. Have you ever heard of Match of the Day?
Match of the Day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a football show. It's a famous football show here in the UK. But my point is, you always knew like whatever highlights getting shown or something must happen here, even if it's like the 75th minute and the players are in the middle of the park, or somebody's going to get a booking or a red card or something like that, because you're like, why else would this be in the highlights? So I'm just thinking to myself, it's 2-4. It's 30-love Arthur Fils. What's going to happen here? Like, and I just assumed that it was going to be like, or maybe he like flings his racket in the crowd or something like that.
That's hilarious.
So, John, keeping us up to date with the Fils and Zverev and the dubs as well. That one's looking good. Match tiebreak, 7-0. Still no break of serve. Yep. John's pal. Still no break of serve in this one. We are what? 16 games into it.
Yeah, it's been a battle. Hour 15.
That's an interesting point. I think there was something about I saw before coming on about the Saudi PIF fund basically buying like tournaments like the Argentina Open.
I saw that. I didn't really look into it.
I've not read too much
at
about
the time, but I was like, oh, okay.
I'd be shocked if it wasn't Man United, John. In fact, I know it's Man United.
We need him to win Indian Wells. Have him on the show.
Yeah, right after the match. No, I don't know, John. Bolton Wanderers. There must be some big team though, because why else would you be asking me that? Who he supports?
Right.
Will be an Arsenal man. Aye, so he supports Atletico Madrid. I don't know. Who else did Diego Forlan play for? He joined. It's got to be Arsenal or Man City. Where's he from? Sheffield. I'm going to go and look up. In fact, I'm not Google. I don't care that much. Right, Sabalenka, another 3 game points for another love hold. It certainly seems that she's holding serve. In fact, it doesn't seem it. She is holding serve the far more comfortable. And Mboko's got to work to stay in touch with the world number 1 right now.
Yeah, not making any inroads, and then just behind the game, going for a
usually
little bit
when
much.
That happens, it's a matter of time before they break, isn't it?
Right. Especially when you get the momentum hold. So.
Oh, is he a Liverpool fan, eh? Oh, that's cool. I was down there in January for Liverpool Burnley, 1 each. All the way down to Liverpool to watch them draw 1 each with Burnley. So not been a good season for the Reds, but I would stick with Arne Slot or get Xabi Alonso in. That's my call. I don't think Xabi Alonso will come though. No, we're talking about Liverpool. Celtic are toilet right now, but so are Rangers. Rangers are even worse. Celtic basically didn't have half their team, and Rangers still couldn't beat them at the weekend, but it was a drab game, terrible game of football. Anyway, Sabalenka is love 30. She had the whole court to aim for as Mboko came to the net. Then she got lucky with a net cord.
Zverev holds for 5-3.
So Fils serving to stay in the match. And then it'll be Sinner Tien on after that one, is it? On that court? Or no, it'll be on the Sabalenka court.
Yeah, I think it's here.
I've lost my wee page that tells me these things. There we go.
Yeah, center second on here. Stadium 1.
Mboko again, fighting back, love 30 down, but she's managed to take it back to 30s. And John's wanting me to plug that we're having a watch along for Pegula and Rybakina. Who's on that one, John? No, we've got to sell the names. Did you see Dan asking earlier on if you met Tim Hedman? Did you meet anyone famous, Brenna?
No.
Come on, crazy. that was a might off, but I'm not telling you.
I did see Pam Shriver though. I had interviewed her in the summer ahead of the U.S. Open, and
does she remember you?
Yeah, she did.
There you go. You must have done a good job interviewing her then.
I appreciate that.
And Sabalenka has just secured the first break of the match. It was a second serve by Mboko, 30-40. Deep return by Sabalenka, and the young Canadian could only push it long. And so Sabalenka 3-2 in the second. Brenner and I just spoke about it. There's only so long that you can just stave off those break points.
Yeah, as you said, it was coming. Momentum hold into the flip, the change of balls, and yeah, that was that.
I mean, let me ask you, Brenda, if this goes through now, just in terms of, however this finishes, say Sabalenka doesn't lose serve. She's been the last couple of serves, certainly in this second set, been fairly comfortable for her. So, Sabalenka sees this. What can Mboko take from this in terms of learning as she moves forward in her tennis career and sees that's where I want to be. This is what to aim for.
Yeah, I was thinking the same because she has to come away with this like a little bit more positive, of course, than the previous match. But for me, it's like just look how improved like Sabalenka is in terms of course, composure and like having all that experience makes a difference. But like her ability to stay out in front, like get herself into return games, play with like a little bit. I know variety is like a simple thing to say, but right, she's just so much more controlled in her game, like a little bit more reliable off the backhand wing for sure, and that's deadly because we already know how big the forehand is. So her like ability to time up these returns, take them early, and hit them cross are like huge. But yeah, I mean, Sabalenka's just a beast, right? And she's confident, but like you get yourself to break her, and Mboko is going to be, definitely sad looking back on a 7-love score.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're bang on. I mentioned Alcaraz earlier in terms of, him being at the peak of his powers right now. I don't think Sabalenka's far, maybe not in this match particularly. I thought she had a pretty raggedy first set, certainly the opening period of it. But I think she's going to have a pretty dominant. My prediction is she's going to be pretty dominant in 2026. Like, I think she's at her peak, a place in her career where for the next couple of years I think she'll be well on top in that rankings. I think she'll stride away from folk. I get it. Rybakina, she might be the danger. The kind of foresight of that is, she won Wimbledon all those years ago. There was a lot of hype around her. It was the big three then on the women's tour. Then she faded a little bit, the coaching troubles and whatnot. And then she's come back, and that just shows, the old adage of, form is temporary and class is permanent. And so Rybakina could be the one that kind of pushes her in most of the slams. But talking about her consistency, the way that she doesn't really get, she had that period where she would go through semi-finals and slams, and she would be maybe a set up or one set all, and she would end up losing the match. That you don't really see. I mean, I just see a different Sabalenka now. I see a Sabalenka who her game management, in the bad times of a match when she's not hitting her spots, she manages to get through it. She resets and then she goes again, and that's what these players can't really handle with her right now, I think.
I think that's a fair analysis. Double fault does bring up.
I know, commentators cuss. But yeah, 15-30, although I think the scoreboard is still a little bit ahead, so 30 all it'll be.
But I think that's a fair analysis, Tom. Like it's real, and Rybakina, of course, is there. She's been challenged this week, but ultimately getting the job done, kind of each and every time.
Yeah, John. Just quickly, I would flip that one round for you. Those forehands. Those forehands are any fool can hit the jackpot once. Even a blind squirrel finds nuts twice a day. Anyway, right, so we're at 40-30. Sabalenka and Mboko looking a little bit dispirited now. You know, a little bit. The head goes down when she hits the net. But you know, after an hour 26 minutes of sticking with the number one player in the world for the most part, would you like now to see Mboko, you know, maybe do something in the next couple of slams? We haven't really seen her on clay. But do you know anything about her? You know, her form on clay or grass? Because they're
No,
the two slams.
I think it's a work in progress there, but she'll. I think, like you said, movement is important on clay. So that was something that I kind of highlighted if we're looking at a weakness. But you know, the ball striking, a little bit more time to set up your points. It's gonna be big hitting, of course. So
yeah,
I think once again, it's all work in progress.
Yeah. I mean, just to quickly go on, John, complete false what he's talking about. When we sat in the pub nearly 2 years ago and did football knowledge, it was Mr. Silk who was blown away by my Champions League knowledge. He was like, "You've just had Dafty for Glasgow and you know all this." I'm like, "I know, pal."
You know ball. You know ball, Tom.
I know ball.
All
so
right, well, that'll be
you're gonna head.
Tom, but
good to speak to you again, Brennan. Give us a wee text in the
you.
next few days or something, mate. All right.
Of course. You always do a great job directing the show. I appreciate you.
Thanks,
all right. Cheers, guys. Thanks, everyone.
Tom and Brenner, what's your take on Saba and Osaka and Evolve IMG? Don't know much about it, Ghost, but I'm assuming that IMG is trying to buy or merge with Osaka's sports agency. That's just a complete wild guess, just based on your message. Maybe one of the stories that I've missed. I'll have a wee hunt about for it. But really couldn't think of much. I remember a couple of years ago with IMG. Oh, the name. John will jump in with the name soon. But remember there was the man who was going on all the podcasts, the guy who was the head of tennis at IMG. And he kind of got slammed for he was on the tennis podcast. He was on another one, but he kind of got slammed for his just the way he was talking about coaching. I remember on the Tennis Unfiltered podcast, Calvin Betton didn't like the way he was talking about coaching and just thinking that anyone could do a coaching job, and they give them a list of coaches and the IMG direct the players who coaches they can and can't have, something like that. It was a couple of years ago now. So I don't know too much about the story, Ghosty. So without Googling it, let us know. I'll talk us through these next couple of points, because Victoria Mboko's having probably our most comfortable service game in a while. She is 2-4 down, but it's 40-15. Remember, at the start of this set, she really has had to battle to get any points on the board. Sabalenka being the dominant player. And she's just double faulted. I always seem to pick up a player and then they make a double fault. I was saying about Sabalenka and our changing mindset. I'll need to watch the tiebreak again, because that's not something I noticed, John, but I did. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. What was he going, come on, Jack, and all that? I don't know. I don't know what it is, and I know that I'll take absolute daggers for this. I'll be dodging the arrows as Mboko faces a break point after being 40-15. I think she's feeling it a little bit in the legs. I can't really take to I can't take to Draper much. I thought again he impressed me with the win, and he's an impressive player. I think he's a good player. I just I know he's a Brit. I'm a Brit. Debatable, but I find it hard to kind of take to Jack Draper. But I didn't see the Tim Henman cheerleading of Draper. Well, on the bus. The Sky coverage, in their defence, and again, I've just outlined I'm not the biggest Jack Draper fan. In their defence, if he's not in the commentary booth, but he's at the event, if he's not commentating on the match, I mean, you could talk about, John, why does Gary Neville do Man United matches? Because he's hardly neutral, is he? And I know you're going to hit back with. Carragher's the same. I didn't say I don't like Draper, Ghosty. It's just, you know what I mean? Like when I was growing up, it was Tim Henman, and I was a pure Tim Henman fan. And then like Greg Rosetsky was on the scene, and I pure wanted them to win because I was like, you know, UK, GB, yeah. And then Andy Murray comes along, and obviously he's Scottish, so I'm fully behind Andy Murray. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not. I'll sit there and watch matches and find myself not wanting Draper to win. And that's the God's honest truth. I think the Taylor Fritz semi-final, I wanted Taylor Fritz to win. And that's I only speak the truth. And I don't know what it is in terms of, I haven't taken to him yet. I still might. But blah, 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 John. Honestly, if Tim Henman's there, he's actually not working for Sky, he's freelancing for Sky. If this was in TNT Sports, Tim Henman would still be there. So I don't have any qualms with Tim Henman. Is he not the United Cup captain or is heavily involved in British tennis? For him wanting to cheer on a British player, if he's not in the commentary booth, I don't see there's any problem with that. I think if he was in the commentary booth, then yes, he's meant to be neutral because he's got to give a balanced report on the event. So funnily you say this, goes because I was thinking about this the other day, because I was thinking about the same with Cam Norrie. Like, I can't take to Cam Norrie because he's not really Scottish, and Jacob Fairley's not really Scottish either in terms of, and I know this is me being petty, but he wasn't born in Scotland. So I probably Jacob Fairley, probably the most of the Brits, I'd probably be like, if it was Jack Draper versus Jacob Fairley, I'd want Fairley to win. God, I'm going to get absolutely slated. I'm going to get Twitter comments now. You're anti-English. No, I'm not. I love England. Used to go out with an English lassie. Very Scottish. I don't think Novak Djokovic is going to be like, oh, are you disappointed or you're happy that I lost? He knows. I think again, Tim Henman gets away with it a little bit because, like I say, he is involved in the British tennis setup. Is like the head of Wimbledon or whatever, or something like that, or he used to be something like that, the tournament director of Wimbledon. Am I making that one up? If I totally made that up, it's Queens or something, I don't know. Edgbaston. I don't think it exactly, Dan. I don't agree with John. John's he's not a Jack Draper fan either, so John's just been petty. Anyway, Mboko won that service game as I went on that little rant. She managed to see off the break point, so it's 3-4, and she's love 15 down. So could she be fighting back here? We're on her second serve. Big point is if she can get on top of that, what she does. Sabalenka goes into the net, and we have a love 30 game here. Victoria Mboko right on top of that Sabalenka second serve, took it early, found the angle. Sabalenka couldn't get her feet ready in time, had to try a very, very unattainable backhand sliding down the line. Mboko finds the court with a return on the first serve of Sabalenka, but she's court side to side, and Sabalenka wrong foots her. That's good play by Aryna Sabalenka, and this is what I'm talking about. She could easily try and get into herself, wallow in self-pity, Sabalenka, but she knows there's a match still to be won. She's fighting back here, 15-30. Yeah, as I said, Ghost, you must have missed me at the top of the stream. First of all, Novak. Again, I've never been the biggest fan of Novak Djokovic. Definitely up in my estimation last night. Just like, you know, the way he was trying to hang in there. And again, this isn't the first time he's done that, obviously. But I like the way he was striking the ball. You know, I just thought it was a very, very enjoyable match. Got to be one of the, you know, I'd find it very hard for that not to end up being the match of the year. And then Draper as well, him winning that, you know, serving for it, didn't happen. To kind of recompose and go again in the tiebreak against the greatest of all time. There's a thing, Dan, as I'm not called, like in the charter, in the BBC charter, that the Wimbledon is one of the crown jewels. So it's something like, you know, I don't know. You might be right. I don't know. No, yeah, hats off to Jack Draper. He actually, again, him as well. Both of them. I'm watching that match going, I don't really care who wins. At least one of them's getting knocked out. And I actually was sitting there quite happy with the result, but also happy for Novak Djokovic. Like he wasn't losing in a way that was like pure spitting the dummy and shouting at the crowd and, you know, throwing his racket and shouting at his box. I did see him shout at his box a few times, but it wasn't that way where he was like feel like he was being treated badly by getting beat, or it was the crowd's fault he was getting beat. He seemed to take it in his stride and go, you know what, I've been beat here by a young guy who's just been better on me in the night. I've had my chances, I didn't take them. Yeah, so good. One of the most enjoyable. I only watched the highlights, by the way, Ghost, but watched them extended, like it was like an hour-long highlight show, and it was one of the most enjoyable matches I can remember in a long time. And obviously, that point at the start of the third set, again, spoke about it in this already. What a point that was, man, honestly. Anyway, Mboko's got a break point. Oh, she went for the big serve, Sabalenka. She hits the net. What a turnaround this would be. I'll not be getting my dinner anytime soon. Thank you, Victoria. Second serve picked up by Mboko, and she goes wide. She tried to take it early. She tried to catch Sabalenka, maybe a little bit concrete-footed in terms of where she was. Sabalenka was, to be fair, a little bit ball watching. Hadn't reacted to the return, but it went just wide. Please don't get Andrew Castle on talking tennis. Please do not, John. I'll be asking for double my appearance fee if Andrew Castle gets on talking tennis. €5. Right. Game point Sabalenka. Oh no, there he is. John will end up telling us that he met Andrew Castle in like a urinal one time, and he was actually very down to earth and very, very funny. John, are you going out for a run, pal? Why are you dressed like a jogger? Oh, run done. How many miles you did today? I did 7 miles today. It's going to be 7.5. Oh, what a return, Victoria Mboko. Wow. Aye, don't push yourself, mate. Just stick with the 5K. What a return. Shot of the match for Victoria Mboko. She's got another break point here. And that is why this girl is going places. What a return that was. Sabalenka first serve and just from the incredible to the incredulous, she hits the net with a return. It was a good first serve by Sabalenka, right into the body. But, you know, Victoria will be kicking herself. He better not be training for the London Marathon. It's next month and he's out doing 5Ks. None, but I was going to do the Edinburgh this year, but I think I might do the Loch Ness in October. My goal is to get a sub 25k and a sub 40 10k. I did my half marathon. Yeah, I did my half marathon. Mind I was texting you that day, John. I ended up doing it in 135. No, 137, and I was aiming for 135. So I was 2 minutes out. That's right. I remember your one was a bit better. If you could just see John's face right now, guys. Sabalenka wins the game, and surely she's put away Victoria Mboko now. Yeah, I was 137 and I was aiming for 135 that morning. We were texting, and I've been struggling to get back into it. That was only my second run in about 3 weeks today. Right, so serving to stay in the match, Victoria Mboko, you fought valiantly, but has your race run? Good return by Sabalenka. Do you know, I've not commented. I've been by myself for about 10 minutes and I'm not commentating on a point because we've been talking about running. Nah, we're all right, John. Don't think that'll be a Google search I'll ever do. We believe you, mate. Right, when's the Seville Marathon? I'm going to go and do it in 3 hours, 37 minutes. Nice one, Dan. Get back into running. It's the best thing. Good endorphins. Good endorphins. You feel great after it. Serve down the tee by Victoria Mboko. She'll be feeling great about that one. And ace down the tee to bring up 30-15. She's going to make Sabalenka serve this one out. $30-15. What? Coming up to the 2 hour, an hour 45. Good return by Sabalenka. She wants to finish this one now. 30 all. And just remember, Leonard Tien and Yannick Sinner right after this one. And Mboko, good 1-2. Good serve down the tee. Sabalenka read the serve this time, but Mboko was waiting to put the ball down the court. And it is game point for 4-5. She'll have another chance at potentially trying to break that Sabalenka serve. She, of course, had a couple of break points in the last one. Sabalenka, though, returns a good forehand by Mboko, and the players walk to the changeover because she's taking that game 4-5. Aye, because you sank about 15 pints, John. always outgunning me, John Silkers. He's my nemesis in everything I do. Oh, my stream is struggling. No, it's back. Okay, so Sabalenka to move into the semi-finals here. Who is in her draw? I'm assuming it'll be Pegula. Is that the... Pegula, Noska? No, Noska's playing Talia. Gibson, of course. Tournaments. Let me get a draw on the go. Right, so for a spot in the final four, Sabalenka stands on the baseline, looking to finish off a valiant effort by Victoria Mboko. Of course, just the one break of serve across these two sets, not a ton of break points either. Been very, very competitive. A lot of games going to juice. Sabalenka, 1-2, serve out wide, down the line with the second shot. So am I right in saying this? Sabalenka, she's the first player to reach the quarterfinals in 14 consecutive WTA level events. So this will be 15 in a row. 15 in a row. Oh, she's already reached 15 in a row, so I don't know what I'm talking about. This is the quarterfinals, forget me. What is this I'm looking at? Hello, it's me, UK. Whose dog is this? Why is this? What's going on? Sorry. What's going on? So confused. Sabalenka 30 love. Good return by Mboko right at the feet, deep. Sabalenka goes wide and doesn't like it. 30-15. Is Yuki your dog, John? That's a lovely dog. Why, if it's not your dog, why are you putting an Instagram post of this dog? So it is your dog? Nice. I was wondering why you hadn't jumped over to Rio this year. It's because you've now got a wee dog to look after. Oh, Sabalenka just double faulted. 30 up. Tense here, but as I say, every game's been like this. It's been 30-40, just, you know, it's been long games. I think we're in an hour and 50 minutes in this match, and we're only at the end of the second set. Oh, the great benefit of being a guy, you can pee anywhere, Ghost. One of the many benefits, of course. Right, match point, Sabalenka, to move into the last four. Serve's kind of left her a little bit here, though. Oh, it's getting nervy. Second serve just clipped the top of the net, landed in. So we've got a second set let here. Don't see many of them. Match point. Even Sabalenka, who's won so much, can get nervy on a match point. She gets the ball in the court this time. Mboko, good return. Plays her backhand to backhand. Now Sabalenka forehand just over the net. But Mboko puts it away, does she? No. It's game, set, and match to Aryna Sabalenka. That one would have been very, very close. A smile by the young Canadian, a hug by the two opposing players. I think I'm right in saying that Mboko could move up to number 9 in the world if Noskova doesn't win the event. I might be wrong on that, but that'll be a career high, obviously. But yeah, Aryna Sabalenka sees off the challenge of Victoria Mboko in an hour and 50 odd minutes. It wasn't easy, long matches, but it just took the one break of serve. Yeah, she's going to take some beating. Surely the big favourite now. But plenty of tennis coming up. I think John said we've got Pegula and Noskova, is it? Coming up later. No, sorry, Noskova and Gibson. The Pegula match is going to be on the stream. Don't know who's on it. Don't know if they're doing Svetlana and Swiatek. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything else to be said. But listen, it's been an absolute blast. Good to chat with Rachel and Brenner as well. Good to chat to you all. Ghost, you have a good one. Dan, good to chat to you. See you later.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.